Hi guys, Vaibhav this side, and today I want to discuss about confidence and how you can develop this genuine and authentic confidence so that you can feel more self-assured and empowered. The confidence that is not forced but rather which comes from within and not from some manufactured or fake tips or some gimmicky stuff, right? And why I really want to discuss about this topic is because recently I was looking through internet, and what I found is that how to become confident is the most searchable topic in the self-development space. And quite frankly, I was expecting it to be something like how to manage stress or how to be more productive, but turns out that people are more curious and really care about how to being confident. So I thought, yeah, let's make a video on that. So before going into how to be more confident, on which I am going to share with you 4 key pillars in a minute, let's establish what is not confidence, right? And confidence is not something that you depend on doing some external activities or trying to be confident by following some instructions. It's not you trying to puff your chest, pulling your shoulder backs and talking in this deep voice and doing these power process and trying to become this alpha male or this sigma male, right? Confidence is not about you pretending to be someone you are not in order to impress other, not being arrogant, not being cocky. True confidence is about being comfortable in your own skin and accepting yourself. If someone pretend to be confident, first of all, you can clearly see them doing this because they radiate this energy of them being insecure and fake. And second, when you do all these gimmicky stuff, you unconsciously and indirectly tell yourself that you are not confident. That's why you are doing all this gimmicky stuff. The reason you are trying to do something means you are not already that person. If you look at the people who are truly confident, like Elon Musk, and I was watching his interview a few days back, and what I have noticed is that he is not a very good speaker. He doesn't have this deep voice, and he was not doing all these power poses trying to be this alpha male. But still, to me, he looked very, very confident. And I asked myself, like, why is it so? And the reason he's so confident is because he's not simply trying to be the one, right? There is no need for him to trying to prove anything to anyone. He's working on many crazy ideas like establishing human colonies on Mars, creating chips that can be installed in the human mind. So many bizarre things, but he has no desire to convince other and try to make sense out of what he is doing and convincing other about his goals and vision, right? So what I have concluded from this is that confidence is the state where you have this complete and unconditional acceptance of who you are. There is no conflict within, there is no desire to become someone else, or there is no desire to change what it is. This is the complete and full acceptance of who you are and being comfortable with the way of your being. You have no attachment to the outcomes. You have this complete abandonment of the established social norms and the hierarchies. A confident person doesn't have the need to get validation from the sources outside of them because he is just great at doing what he does, and that's it, right? And the reason that you don't feel confident within yourself is that you always have this dependency on something external to give you the validation to feel a certain way, right? This state is not being drawn from within. So let's say in this scale, if we have this confidence at one end and insecurity at the other end, you are constantly looking for the factor outside of you to sort of make you feel good about yourself, make you feel at this end of the scale. And you do it by looking for other people's approval. You are trying to be accepted by the others, and what you don't realize is that this need to be accepted by the other has this underlying desire to be accepted by oneself first. You want others to accept you first so that you can feel this sense of self-worth and self-assurance within yourself. You are drawing this state from outside rather than from within. And you have sort of confined your life around this factor, right? It's kind of like you doing drugs to make you feel a certain way. When that high isn't there, you mindlessly go out and search for it in order to make you feel better again. So whenever this state is drawn from outside of you, you will always see fluctuation. One day you will feel good, the other day you will feel, you will have self-doubt. True confidence is something that is drawn from within. When you draw that state from within, now this is permanent. Now it is more stable. And the best way to attain this permanent state is to accept yourself first and seek your acceptance of yourself first. You don't even need someone else to validate your inner sense of worth. The more you rely on others to make you feel a certain way, the more you become susceptible to breaking apart and doubting yourself, right? And also what one does is that we constantly compare ourselves to the other people. Whenever you compare yourself with the others, you will always find holes in your self-esteem. If you are comparing yourself like how successful the other person is, or how wealthy the other person is, you will continue to look down upon yourself. Any result that you will produce, you will compare it with your expectation of what it should be. These negative thoughts of I am not good enough, they can take over and cause you to doubt yourself and on your abilities. You will keep beating yourself for not being good enough, and this will eventually put a dent in your self-image. You kind of like put this dent in your self-image, and as you keep comparing yourself to the other, the more this dent keeps on expanding, and the result is very detrimental, right? You will reach to this detrimental stage where you will have no self-worth at all. Comparing yourself to the other is the most detrimental thing that you can ever do to yourself. Like, you don't even know what the other person has gone through to reach where he is right now. What struggles, what problems that person has experienced and faced during his journey to reach where he is right now. Everyone is unique, and everyone goes through a unique set of experience in their life. No two people can have the same, can have the similar path and the similar result. So comparing yourself to the other makes no sense at all. True confidence comes from accepting and valuing yourself and valuing your journey, rather than constantly trying to force yourself to meet a certain standard. And this is how the competence is built, right? You go through your own unique path, your own unique set of experiences that lays path that are exclusive to you and your success. But we compare our beginning from someone else's middle or end. Because as human being, we have this tendency to fit everyone in the hierarchy. We are unconsciously scanning through everyone around us and positioning them in and assigning them a rank. Like, this person is above me, this person is below me. And we want to be the part of this hierarchical system. The goal becomes to climb up this ladder of hierarchy so that one can feel more valued and important than the other. And by playing this game, one gets strangled in this false game of illusion, where if we reach the top, you will be anxious and stressed about to keep proving to the others that you truly belong to the top. And if you find yourself somewhere in the middle in the ranking, you will continue to experience turmoil and suffering to climb up the ladder. The reality is, this game of confidence that you are playing is completely meaningless game. And even if you continue to play it, you are going to always be unfulfilled and void of the true experience of the life, right? So now let's discuss 4 key pillars to cultivate this true internal confidence, which is not built upon some hollow foundation, which is not shaky, but rather that has these solid cornerstones on which this whole structure of your self-worth or your self-confidence stand, right? So pillar number 1 is that you need to have this complete and utter acceptance of yourself, right? And why it is important is because true confidence comes from acknowledging your strengths and your weaknesses and understanding that imperfection is a natural part of human being. Confidence has to take more to you trying to accept yourself first, then being accepted by the other. If you put someone else to be in charge of evaluating you and putting a tag value on you, then it's just a never-ending game where you will always lose. When we fully accept accept ourselves along with our flaws and our imperfections, now we can let go of the need to impress others, and instead we can focus on being more authentic and true to ourselves. This allows us to be more confident in our own skin and help us to handle challenges and setbacks in a very resilience and gracefully, right? Truly accepting yourself is the quality that shows that you are not afraid to show the vulnerable part side of your personality. And when I said self-acceptance, don't confuse it with being rigid and stiff to protect yourself against the other. This does not mean that you become egoistical and try to protect yourself against the other. Rather, accepting yourself completely, it simply means that you are ready to be vulnerable. When it comes down to, accepting your flaws and your shortcomings, by doing this now, you are not fighting against yourself. Rather, now we are working in the harmony with who we are. And this gives us clarity on what aspect of our personality can be improved. When we have this harmony, within ourselves, improving ourselves becomes a loving expression rather than a grueling task. Because now you are not fighting against yourself anymore. Now there is no inner resistance. When we try to improve ourselves without accepting ourselves first, what essentially we are doing is that we are putting one foot on the brake and the other foot on the gas, right? It doesn't take you anywhere. What you need to do instead is to take your foot off the brake and hit the gas, right? And how do you do it? Is by accepting yourself first and embracing your own uniqueness, right? And pillar number 2 is that you need to abandon this hierarchical system of importance completely. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, whenever you put someone else above you in this hierarchical system, you immediately assume this lower ranking to them. And because when you have accepted this lower rank in the hierarchy, other person's importance suddenly goes up. And whenever you create this artificial power difference between you and the other, you have no choice but to look down upon yourself. It's like, let's say you have a huge crush on a girl and you think that this girl is kind of out of your reach. So you have put that girl on the pedestal. When you put someone on the pedestal, the other person will have no choice but to look, down upon you. So let's say you approach that girl, and when you are talking to her, because the importance level of that person is so high, you will overthink every single word that comes out of your mouth. You will overanalyze every single move or act that you do in her presence, and this makes you more mechanical in your action. You are no more authentic, as yourself, and more often than not, you are going to mess up things. So the key is to abandon this system of importance altogether. See, from nature's point of view, every single person holds equal importance. It's we human beings that create this artificial projection of importance from our mind. No one is special, neither anyone is unspecial. We just are, and that's it. So stop putting other above you and below you, and simply stop comparing yourself to the other. Simply stop playing this game altogether. If you are indifferent to what others think or believe about you, confidence will be with you. If you want other to think highly of about you, and you like to be appreciated, then you will simply become an actor on the stage, playing a role for the audience in the hope of garnering an applause. Right? You can like certain aspect of another person's, you can like their few qualities and try to see if you can incorporate them in order to benefit you. But when you compare yourself to them by placing them side by side, all you are doing is just seeing where you can fall short, right? You are on your own unique path, and your path will be forged by your own actions and your own unique experiences, right? And pillar number 3 is that you must unattach yourself from the outcomes and expectations. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when we let go of the need to control everything, we are we are more like to be present in the moment and not in our head. When you go into a certain situation with a preconceived notion of the outcome, you cannot experience the gradual progression toward this natural course of your becoming better and becoming a better version of yourself. So what I mean by that is, let's say if I am making this video and I'm attached to the outcome of, oh, I want to become this big YouTuber, and I put every single video with this expectation, and if I don't see the result, I'm going to feel this shakiness in my self-worth and in my self-confidence. I'm like, oh, is it happening? No, not now. Oh, is it happening now? No. Oh, it means I am doing something wrong. It means I am not good enough, right? Rather than letting this progression happens organically and naturally, because I'm attached to the outcome, I keep on doubting myself. When you are attached to the outcome, you are not ready to put in the work and kind of like allowing this confidence to build on its own, right, over the course of the time. It's when you are unattached from the outcome and doing what's necessary, this builds competence over time. And then confidence, that you are going to experience, that would be timeless. It would not be shaky, because this is something that you have cultivated over time by incrementally progressing and developing yourself, correct? And pillar number 4 is that you need to build competence, right? And this point is somehow related to the previous point, but what I mean by that is that you cannot have a genuine authentic confidence unless you are putting in the work to become better every single day. Like, even if you are building competence in one single area of your life, that competence will translate into confidence and it will spill off in other areas of your life. Like people who are good at something, let's say an artist who is master in his craft, he essentially shows this calm and peaceful sense of self-assurance within himself. And competence is something that you develop over time with practice and dedication, right? So be good at whatever field interests you, and the self-assurance that you will draw from that activity. And when you see yourself becoming better and better in your domain, your self-worth is going to strengthen, and you simply start being confident by not even trying to be. This is the state that we want to reach. This is where you want to reach. The place where confidence is not forced, it is not fake. Rather, it comes from this purer place without even you trying to be confident, right? And with that, I'm concluding this video. I would love to hear your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time, much love and peace.